Forget the Rolex. Forget the mansion. Forget the six-figure car parked in a private driveway. There's a new symbol of power, freedom, and status roaring into the spotlight, and it comes on two wheels. Because today, the motorcycle isn't just about speed. It's about success. It's about soul. It's about the man behind the machine. If you're still seeing motorcycles as toys for rebels or weekend warriors, it's time to wake up. This is the story of how motorcycles became the new status symbol for ambitious men and why owning one might just be your next power move. Stick around until the end, because what we reveal in the last segment might change the way you view your dream lifestyle forever. The past, from outlaw to icon. It started on the fringes. In the dusty post-war years, motorcycles were the calling card of the outlaw. Gritty, loud, and dangerous. They weren't symbols of wealth. They were symbols of rebellion. James Dean, Steve McQueen, Marlon Brando. The leather jacket wasn't a trend, it was a challenge to the system. But here's the twist: what began as rebellion eventually turned into desire. Because the one thing humans will always crave is freedom. Motorcycles were never just machines. They were escape plans on wheels. The modern-day horse for the man who refuses to be fenced in. And that legacy? It never died. It evolved. The lifestyle shift. As society changed, so did the man behind the bike. No longer the rogue outsider, the new rider was a man with ambition, an entrepreneur, an artist, a leader. You see, while the world moved faster, more digital, more disconnected, the motorcycle became a rare symbol of realness. Of being grounded. Of controlling your own ride in a world trying to program your every move. And that, right there, is where the shift happened. Bikes became less about rebellion, and more about identity. Not who you're fighting, but who you are. But why now? Why is today's motorcycle a symbol of wealth and not just adrenaline? The answer lies in something deeper. The new luxury, experience over excess. We've entered a new era of wealth. The old formula, big house, flashy car, corporate job, isn't enough anymore. Because today's high-value man doesn't just want things. He wants moments. He wants experiences that make him feel alive. That's where motorcycles thrive. A high-end bike isn't just expensive, it's expressive. It says you've arrived, without screaming it. It says you don't follow traffic, you lead the pack. And in a world where everyone is flexing on social media, the real flex is being in the wind, off-grid, doing 80 down the Pacific Coast Highway, while everyone else is stuck refreshing their feed. But it gets even deeper when you see the numbers. The investment and the signal. A luxury bike today can cost more than most entry-level cars. We're talking $25K, $40K, even $60,000 for custom models. But what does that price tag really buy? Not just engineering. Not just style. It buys perception. To own a high-end motorcycle is to signal confidence. That you've mastered both speed and control. That you're not afraid to stand out or stand alone. You're not just a man with money. You're a man with taste. And people notice. Women. Friends. Even other men. The right bike parked outside a business meeting or a luxury cafe doesn't just turn heads. It opens doors. But here's the real question. If the bike is the new badge of honor, what kind of man does it take to wear it? The rider archetype. The man who rides a luxury bike isn't running from something. He's running towards something. He's driven, decisive, and unapologetically individual. He doesn't just want freedom, he demands it. He's not afraid of risk, because he knows that real growth begins where comfort ends. He builds his life like he builds his bike, custom, from the ground up. And here's the thing. Every time he gears up, he's not just riding into the wind. He's riding into his next level. And that leads us into the real transformation. The decision that changes everything. There's a moment every man remembers. The moment he commits. When he walks into that dealership, or shakes hands on a private sale. And the key is placed in his palm. That key isn't just to a bike. It's to a new life. It's a moment of declaration. I'm done waiting. I'm done watching. I'm ready to ride. And that decision? It bleeds into everything: confidence, clarity, mindset. Because when you learn to control 1000 ccs of raw power, you start believing you can control anything. But what if you're still on the fence? What if you think it's too risky, or too expensive? Here's where most men get stuck. And most men stay average. But not you. The real cost of waiting. Here's a truth most won't admit. Waiting costs more than action. You think you're saving money? You're losing time. You think you're playing it safe? You're letting life ride past you. The real cost isn't the bike. It's the man you could have become, had you saddled up when you felt the pull. And don't think for a second you need to drop $30,000 to start. There are affordable bikes that still look and feel like $1 million. Because it's not about price. It's about presence. And the longer you delay that decision, the longer you delay who you're meant to be. So now you're probably wondering, so which motorcycle should you choose to begin this new chapter? Should you go sleek and European with a Ducati? Classic and commanding with a Harley? Or futuristic and elite with a BMW? In the next video, we'll break down the best bikes to elevate your image, match your lifestyle, and turn every ride into a power statement. But remember this. Your journey doesn't start with a model or a brand. It starts with a mindset. If you feel that engine rumbling in your chest, that's no accident. That's your call to rise. To stop living someone else's script. To take the road less traveled on your own terms. Because the modern man doesn't chase wealth. He rides with it. And for the man who dares to take control, the world isn't a place to survive. It's a place to conquer. Subscribe now, because your next ride is your next level.